Hi everyone, I'm ScottHarrison, the founder of the online fitness, nutrition and personal development program called the SixPack Revolution. And today on Prosper's show, we'll be delving into everything fitness, nutrition and mindset. So I'll see you there.
Now, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show, your ultimate destination for uncovering the transformative journeys of individuals who've turned their personal challenges into global movements. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we're diving into a story that proves it's never too late to redefine your life. Now, Scott, how are you doing today?
Hi, Prosper. Thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here finally, as I've had a few technical issues. So wonderful, mate. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, as your motto says, it's never too late to show up on the Online Prosperity Show. So let's just see, what you've got in store for us. Now, for those that are watching right now, this is one of those episodes that almost didn't happen, but now that it's on, let's welcome Scotty to the show. And I want you to imagine maybe waking up at, say, age 42, you're feeling exhausted, you may be overweight, and you're just unable to keep up with your kids. And that was Scotty's reality, and I think it's a reality for quite a lot of people. And I'm a dad myself, especially in that sort of age group. And I'm going to test that, life does creep up on you. And fast forward to today, he's not only transformed his own life, but also inspired tens of thousands across 90 countries through his groundbreaking program, the SixPack Revolution. Now, Scotty's journey is obviously not as easy as it just sounded there. He was battling a 30-year struggle with bulimia, and he has now become a renowned fitness expert himself and an author. And I think this is nothing short of inspiring. And hence, we have him on the show today. And in his latest book, High Protein Meals in Minutes, he actually offers practical solutions to those that are seeking sustainable health transformations. And I'm hoping we're going to be getting some of those transformations on the show today. So if you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of maybe unhealthy habits or just lack of energy to do and have a happier existence, I think this episode is going to be that blueprint for change. And I'm encouraging you to stay tuned as we are going to be exploring the highs and the lows and also the actionable insights from Scott's incredible journey. Now, Scott, I could go on and talk about things that I'm not even qualified to talk about. I mean, let's start right from the beginning. You were 42 and you woke up one day not being able to keep up with your kids. Can you share with us how that felt for you as a man?
Well, what really happened was I was picking up the children back in 2015 from school on the rare occasion, because my wife was the person who did that usually, but I had a bit of spare time. So I went and picked them up, and I was watching the other parents. And while we were waiting for the kids to come out, it was very apparent that they were overweight, bloated, poisoned looking. Some were waddling and buckling at the knees under the weight. And I'm seeing these little kids run up to their role models. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that isn't very good, is it? And then I realized I was one of them. So that day, I decided that my New Year's resolution in the January 2016 was going to be, I'm going to get myself a six-pack. And I'm going to do it in 90 days. And the reason I chose 90 days, because that was the well-known term to make a big transformation, 12 weeks, 3 months or 90 days. Changes habits and stuff like that. So that's where the term came from. And the reason I chose a six-pack, a visual goal, is because I'm really into visualization. And I didn't want to just be like, oh, I lose a few pounds. I wanted to really focus on what I wanted. So I had a photo of my goal pickup on my fridge, on my sun visor in my car, on my phone, and I was just focused on doing this. And I decided to blog it on Facebook. I called it the Scott Too Hot 90-Day Six-Pack Challenge at the time. And 36 other people wanted to join me. And I said to them, look, I'm not messing around here. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this properly. Anyway, cut a long story short, the results that we got from that first movement, no one could believe their eyes. How did you manage that in just 90 days? So everyone was begging me to do another one. So in the September, I did another one and 120 people joined that. Then I realized I had something, one, I was good at, keeping people on track. I enjoyed, and I thought I could maybe turn this into something. So cut a long story short, we are 9.5 years later. As you said earlier, we have tens of thousands of participants in 90 countries across the planet. I also have my own protein shakes, meal replacement shakes, protein bars, overnight oats, and supplements that I created myself with food scientists. And we are now saving and changing lives all over the world every single day. And it's become something quite special. And what we do is it's an online fitness, nutrition, and personal development program where we change your relationship with food, with drink, and with yourself. And we have huge success with all chronic illnesses like ME, MS, fibromyalgia, eczema, psoriasis, Crohn's, IBS, Hashimoto's, Guillain-Barré syndrome, sleep apnea, scoliosis, diabetes type 1 and 2, and huge success with menopause as well. All of those things and more are either being brought into a much more manageable level or into complete remission. So it's absolutely life-changing, and it really does show you that you are what you eat. Now, the program is made up of, we tell you exactly what to eat every day, what to drink every day, how to move every day, and how to think every day. And it's now a 75-day program. And a lot of people ask me, why 75 days? Well, I spent a year working out how to get better results in less time than the 90 that was the general consensus for the rest of the planet. So I just get better results in less time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And first of all, congratulations on doing it for yourself, and a huge congratulations for sharing that with other people who are also now experiencing, that sort of healthy result.
Well, Prosper, I'm 52 this year, and I look younger than I did 10 years ago.
Wow.
That is... And I'm fitter than most people half my age. And it doesn't take long. That's what the great thing about it is. I don't train for several hours a day, 7 days a week. 20 to 40 minutes exercise 3 times a week is good. You can do more and get better, but that's good. 90% of your results are coming from the food, and that's physically, mentally, emotionally, healthily, and hormonal balance. And when you balance the body, you balance your hormones, you build a machine that works at its optimum. When it works at its optimum, it burns fuel efficiently, which is fat. It also builds and maintains your muscle mass, your hair, your skin, the whites of your eyes, your teeth, your nails all become more radiant. And you kind of start living instead of just existing. And you only understand what a human body is supposed to feel like when you do something like this, because from day one, most of us have been poisoning ourselves with crisps, sweets, biscuits, cakes, sauces, alcohol, cigarettes, salt, fat, caffeine, any other drugs you might have tried in your time. And we wonder why we've got this petrol engine, we keep putting diesel into it, and we're coughing, spluttering and stopping. And the great thing as well about the program is at the end, I teach everyone how to keep their results, their life-changing results, and still party twice a week. Because when you build a body that can bat off the extra chocolate and the ice cream or the biscuits or the crisps, then you can, and when I say party, it could be a party or it could be sitting in front of the TV with the kids eating a bag of Haribos. It's whatever, or a bucket of Ben and Jerry's. But, or going for a pint with the lads or the girls, or, But when you have a machine that can burn that off or bat it off, I call it, when you're overweight, your metabolism's down, you're out of shape, you've got all this unhealthy visceral and subcutaneous fat hanging around your body, then when you have the ice cream and the chocolate and the alcohol, it just adds to the misery. You're not batting it off. It's just putting more plasticine on the plasticine, you know? And that's what I've managed to create, to live the best of both worlds. And that's what I wanted to create. And it isn't all about me. I've got an incredible team of experts that sit behind me. I've got a nutritionist, my wife. I've got a GP that's an Iron Man. She's mad as a box of frogs. I've got a psychotherapist, a doctor of chiropractic. He holds the highest qualification of chiropractic doctor in the world, and also a doctor of biochemistry. And there's me, who's a PT, a black belt karate instructor, so I understand the body and I understand discipline and structure. And I've also got a psychology diploma, but this part's my favorite bit. I love the psychology of the SixPack Revolution as well. So we actually get you to look at life from a different perspective, one of positivity, one of balance, and of, you know, approaching life from the correct angle so that you can overcome the obstacles and even enjoy the obstacles, because you understand that I'm actually learning from them. So it's quite a holistic, beautiful thing that we've created. And yeah, I'm very passionate about it, as you can probably hear. And very proud of it as well. But it's not just me. I've managed to get a world-class team around me to make sure that we deliver the best thing we possibly can.
Absolutely. So you started your journey, you know, at the school gate while you're waiting for your kids, and the kids are running towards you. And then you saw a future that you did not want to keep having at that particular time. Now, Scott, you would appreciate this, that fish don't see the water that they swim in. And I can bet you those other dads or those other parents did not see what you were seeing at that particular time. Could you maybe let us know what was happening in your life at that time that would have made you to recognize that? Because some people, it's normal and they wouldn't have noticed it the way you noticed it at that time.
I think I was, in a lot of ways, looking for, what am I here for? You know, when you hit those 40s, you start to have those existential questions. You know, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you kind of don't care about much. You just try to party as often as you can. When you're 14, you become a dad. You kind of look at yourself slightly differently, I think. And I was thinking to myself, you know, what's coming? You know, and I was drinking too much, and I was eating the wrong things, and I was, you know, basically, now I'm a father of 3. I'm really important, and I wasn't treating myself as important as I should. And it just a light bulb came on that day. And I couldn't tell you exactly why, but it did. And I think what a lot of people come to this place, you know, this fork in the road. And your decision on this fork in the road is, do I take the right-hand side or the left-hand side? Now, what people may not understand, or as you say, just don't see, is that the left-hand road that seems like the easy option has got more tablets, more visits to the doctors, more visits to hospital, more inflammation, more painful joints, more stooped over posture, less flexibility, less happiness, more anxiety, more struggles, you know, more foggy mindset. On the right-hand side, you've got a road that would seem harder to walk, but that's got the less visits to the doctors, no need for a frame around your toilet when you're older, still running through the forest in your 90s, still walking through the beach in your 80s, still having fun, still feeling alive, still getting up off the sofa without needing an electric chair to prop you up, still no need for a staircase, no anxiety, more sleep, more energy, more vitality, more strength, more power, more resilience. But you choose the easy road, you get a hard life. You choose what's perceived to be the hard road, you get an easy life, a happy life. And it just was like this, and I just saw it. So I just tried to make it happen for myself. And then when I felt how I felt, I was like, the whole world needs to feel like this, even if it's just once. And what I tell people is, I hand you the key to happiness. Whether you use it or not, every single day is your call. But you'll have it, you'll know, and you'll have the knowledge to be happy. And what I mean by that is, no matter what happens to you in life, whether you lose your job, a family member, you split up with a partner, someone close to you dies, you lose your legs, for example, you can't do your hobby anymore, all of this stuff that happens to all of us, the first place you start when you're down is with exercise and what you eat. Because as soon as you change that, the body's built to, and the brain is a part of that body too, right? People forget that. They always think about their heart, lungs, or belly. Your mind is a part of that body too. The reason most of the world is riddled with anxiety and worry is because they don't eat properly. This is all squiffy. So when you start to nourish your body, you're nourishing your mind by default. And very quickly, you realize that you have this perfect partnership where all of a sudden anything is possible.
Nope.
But when it's poisoned, for a want of a better phrase, that's when you don't see stuff.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that. But Scott, I don't know, maybe it's different locations or different continents, so to speak. I don't know if the Netflix of the UK, just gives you 15 seconds to decide what you're going to be doing with the rest of your life. And, if you just scroll through your phone, people can deliver really scrumptious meals on your door from anywhere in the world. You just press a button. Or if you are too lazy, you could just drive to some place and then they will keep asking you, would you like fries with that? How do you then get past all these nice comforts that come, with 2 scoops and double servings of just about everything in order to then put yourself through the 75 days?
I worked in America. That's exactly what happens. So as I said, you need to make a decision. That's what the first step is. Make a decision. What's my life about? What do I want to be? Yeah. And then you do what it takes to be that. So if you are overweight and you need to flip that script, then you maybe follow a program like the SixPack Revolution, for example. Once you're there, then, as I said, you can party twice a week. So you can have the extra scoops of ice cream. You can do this. But you need to, not only do you need to get balance on your plate and get the right balance of protein, carbohydrates, and fats to bring this hormonal balance in and make the body work properly, you need to get a balance in your week. So if you're doing the ice cream 5 days a week and being healthy twice, it's not going to work. But if you can train yourself to look forward, let's say, for example, to the weekend, yet Monday to Friday, you look after your body. This is the only place you've got to live, by the way. So you have to look after it. You almost, when you get this feeling of this injection of vitality that I told you about, you crave Monday just as much as you crave Saturday. Because I'm a healthy guy now, right? If I go out on a Saturday night, let's say because I said 2 days a week I can party. And if you need to party more than twice a week, you got to have a word with yourself anyway, let's be honest. Save yourself some money as well. When I go out on a Saturday, for example, and I might have a little bit more indulgent one, or even sometimes a bit of a blowout, and that could be alcohol as well as, poorer food, I feel so depressed, in the word of something's weighing on me. I can't wait to get back to normal on Monday. And what people often say to me, Scott, right, after your program, when I go back to eating normal, I go, no, you're eating normal on the program. Stuffing your face with pizza, Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's every day is not normal. And it's going to send you into a very unhappy existence, So It's funny, I call the final day of the SixPack Revolution Christmas Day for adults because it's so euphoric. It's sort of like this emotion comes through you and you're so excited, which you only really use. I can only ever liken the excitement to Christmas Day when you were a kid, you know. And everyone, at the end of the program, I say to them, does everyone understand what I mean by Christmas Day now? They go, yes. And look, I can't save everybody in the world. I'm trying, but I can't. But, you know, I think it all starts with a decision. What is it you want from your life? And you can live the best of both worlds. I think everyone finds that, oh, if I go on this health journey, I'm never going to be able to have fun again and all that. It's the complete opposite. You have more fun. Because when you wake up in the morning, let's go on the visual side. You've seen the visual transformations, unbelievable. Like no one's ever seen anything like it before. And by the way, we make people eat more on our program than they currently do now. We nourish you to fat loss. We don't malnourish you to it. So people are quite shocked. They go, I can't eat all this food. I go, eat it. And the dress sizes fall off and the belt buckles disappear, you know, or get added, I should say, the holes get added. So I can't remember where I was now. I've just gone off on a tangent. But
no, absolutely. I quite like, you know, how everything is counterintuitive to what we've been taught and how people actually approach, you know, maybe weight loss or transformations of this.
Oh, that was it. The transformation. Yeah, the visual. Yeah,
absolutely.
When you wake up in the morning, Prosper, and you like what you see in the mirror, your day starts very well. Oh. If you wake up in the morning and you don't like what you see looking back at you, that's depression. That's misery.
Absolutely. So when somebody signs up to this 75 day sort of challenge, could you maybe walk us through at a high level what is involved? Do I have to quit my job and concentrate so that I don't get exposed to the cake in the breakout room because it was Sally's birthday yesterday?
Good question. So we have had every occupation in the world. Long haul pilots, surgeons, doctors, nurses, dustmen, bin men, postmen, everything you could ever think of, even two mums with 7 kids each. That's busy. So in the first week, we call it prep week. And what we do in that week is we explain everything to you. I also run a live Zoom in that prep week to speak to everybody, calm them all down, simplify it. And also everyone gets a chance to ask me any questions they like. And I do not leave until the last question is asked. Then the following Monday is day 1 of the 75. And we're live with you all day, every day in a group online. So if you ask a question, it's answered in minutes. We have a community. You'll be in a group of about 100 people, plus my team. I'm in every single group personally, so you have access to me all day, every day, 7 days a week. But I always say, don't ask me, Scott, can I switch carrots for broccoli? That's not a question for Scotty. Scotty's, if you're in trouble or your head's gone or you need help or your motivation's disappeared, I'm going to come in, pull your head out your backside and put it back on for you. And we tell you what to eat every day. You have hundreds of recipes, thousands of variations of those recipes that you can choose from. It doesn't matter if you're vegan, pescatarian, regular foodie, got intolerances, allergic to stuff, it's all covered. And if you follow what I teach you on how to prepare yourself for each week, you should spend less time cooking than you do now. So I'll give you some of your time back, not the other way around. But if you do think that you're going to get the body, mind, and life of your dreams without any effort, I would say it's time to think again. But I've got 18 to 86-year-olds, different abilities, different disabilities, people with no legs, people with cerebral palsy. I've got Olympians, celebrities, athletes, Ironmen, ultra Ironmen, marathon runners, GB squad, every single person you could ever think of. every color, every creed, people that have got different cultures, different seasonal foods in their countries, like you were saying about being in different parts of the world, different supermarkets. It's all covered. So there is no one that cannot do this program. All you've got to do is want to change your life forever.
Absolutely. And who wouldn't want to change their life? Because as you said, the parents that gave you this wake up call were on the gates picking up their kids, and they were looking at them as role models. Now, I think maybe that's a really big why for a lot of people. If they can't do it for themselves, they can maybe do it, for their kids or their
I use that. You're so right. So many people say, I would die for my children, don't they? But your kids don't want you to do that. They want you to look after yourself and your body and your mind and live for them instead. Don't die for them, live for them.
Fantastic.
Very important.
There's a counterintuitive thing that you mentioned, that you actually get people to eat more on your, on 75-day program. Could you maybe explain to us what that actually entails? Because some people would say, you know what, I might just double up my portion today and I don't have to worry about being told what to eat, drink, and think for 75 days of my life.
Okay, so most people, when they come to me, they are out of shape, right? Most people. We have some very skinny people that we build up as well. We've got about 6 programs. So some for fat loss, some for muscle gain, menopause, and whatever else. So, but most people come to me because they're out of shape. Now, if you're out of shape, your metabolism is going to be low. If you then drop your calories through the floor, you're going to bring yourself lower. That is not going to work. It's a very slow, nasty process, and you're malnourishing yourself. And the truth of the matter is the best way and the fastest way and the healthiest way to lose fat is on the most calories possible. Now, I know every listener is going to go, what? But let me explain what I mean. We don't focus on calories on the SixPack Revolution, really, which is why our program outperforms everyone else, because everyone else just focuses on calories. We focus on balance and we focus on health and what the body needs to thrive. And the ironic thing is that it's faster. Plus, your metabolism comes up, because at the beginning, I tell people, even if you're not hungry, you have to eat it. Within 3 weeks, they're begging me for more because they're now burning that fuel efficiently. So that shows their metabolism has lifted and taken them out of that long, arduous, oh, nothing works mindset and body. So let me explain why I said on the most calories possible. Let's assume that your maintenance calories per day is 2,250, let's just say. You would lose more fat on 1,900 calories than you would on 900 calories. On 900 calories, you are malnourishing yourself and your body is going to hold on for dear life. Now, you'll get influencers and people say, that's not true. There's no such thing as starvation mode, because if starvation mode meant you held on to fat, all the starving people would be fat. Well, don't be silly. Eventually, your body will have to eat itself if you're starving it, but it will hold on for as long as it possibly can and try and survive on those 900 calories. And to give you an actual anecdotal example, we had one lady, she did that 800 calorie a day diet. Some doctor brought it out. I think it's ridiculously stupid. But she did it for 365 days. She lost a stone in a month. The next 11 months, she only lost 2 pounds in 11 months on 800 calories. She was trying to survive on 800 calories. Her hair fell out. She couldn't remember half of the things she did in the day. She couldn't get out of bed. Her body was breaking down. Her organs were failing. So that's not how to lose weight. You must nourish yourself to fat loss, not malnourish yourself to it. So if you're eating McDonald's and you're going to eat a double portion of McDonald's, that isn't going to work. Right? It's all about what you eat as well as when you eat it and how much you eat. So we eat 6 times a day, balanced plates of meals and snacks throughout the day. Every meal and snack has protein, carbohydrates, and fats in them, balanced plates of food. We also, to make things easier, we have meal replacement shakes, but you don't have to use shakes. You can just do full food as well. It's either or. Just people find it easier because it's cheaper, quicker, more convenient, more protein, you know. So it's really important what's on the plate at the same time as well. So some people say to me, Scott, I eat healthily, but you know, I can't seem to shift. I go, what do you have for breakfast? Well, I didn't have breakfast. Ah, there's your problem. Okay, what did you have for lunch? I had a banana. Okay, a banana's healthy as an item, but it's not really that healthy to have on its own, believe it or not. You're just eating a load of sugar and carbohydrates. If you'd have added 3 tablespoons of Greek yogurt and 6 almonds to that banana, now it's healthy because now it's balanced. So if you imagine there's a set of scales, you know, the old fashioned ones with the chains.
Yeah.
If we put a banana on, you need to put the yogurt and the nuts on the other side to bring it here. If you think that's just an analogy, but you get the idea. That's then healthy. Now, I know you're not going to have a banana or a satsuma again. I know that, or an apple on its own. But if you really wanted to nail it, every time you ate, you wouldn't. You would add the protein and the healthy fats, is the nuts, to that carbohydrate of the apple, for example. So that's what a lot of people don't understand, and that's why the results of SixPack are so fast. And we need to make sure that the body's got everything it needs to thrive. So the right amount of vitamins, minerals, botanicals, protein, carbs, fats, etc., 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 micronutrients, macronutrients. And you can only do that by eating what's needed to make sure it is there in your body. So therefore, you actually need to eat more, but more of the right things.
Absolutely, because from what you're saying, mindset really does play a crucial role in all of this, because what we've been taught, you know, like you did give an example of that lady who was doing the 800 sort of calorie a day, and that is coming from someone who is from an authoritative position. You did say it was some doctor that came out with that. Now, how are people to discern which is which, and what sort of advice would you give to people? Because most of this advice that is being put out there is from people that we're meant to be trusting.
It's so frustrating for me to watch. And as I say, look, they might say, I'm just another guy. How do I know? But there's no other program on the planet that produces thousands and thousands and thousands of results every year. I show them every week. There's no other program that does that. The amount of proof that I show from normal people gives me that confidence, and also that ability to stand up and say, hang on a minute. But also think of it this way. I had an argument with a guy on, I think it might have been TikTok TikTok, I think it was. He was a fitness professional, and he was telling everyone that eating 900 calories of donuts is the same as eating 900 calories of fish and veg.
Even I know that.
So I had to step in. I wish I hadn't, because it was like long, and he just like knocking on a brick wall, you know. And he even threatened. He lived in America, but he even threatened to come over and find me because I exposed him. Because I said, okay, let's do an experiment. I said, and we'll film it so that people can see us doing it. You spend the next 3 weeks eating 900 calories of donuts every day, and I'll spend the next 3 weeks doing 900 calories of fish and veg, and let's see what happens. And then everyone's like obviously making comments, going like, "Don't be a donut," because he was talking about donuts. Don't be a donut. And it's really worrying, because the people that are, as you say, not got the right mindset, they live on junk food. They think that's okay. And they think it's only about calories. And I did a big video called Calorie Deficit Doesn't Work. Now, I'm not stupid. I do understand the laws of thermodynamics and how energy balance, of course. But just the 2 words, calorie and deficit, Doesn't work, because if you're going to starve yourself all day so that you can fit your 1,900 calories of McDonald's in this evening with a Coca-Cola and an apple pie after, that's not going to work. An educated calorie deficit will work, but you need to change that relationship with food and drink. You need to eat the right things. Otherwise, you're just malnourishing. This is the same with the jabs now, the Mounjaro and the Ozempic and all those GLP-1 jabs. They're just making people not eat. They're not actually changing the way they eat. And there's loads of serious health issues with those as well. That's all coming out now. People have died, and pancreatitis, what they call it, brittle bones and crumbling spines and God knows what else. But yeah, there's so much stuff out there, and it's conflicting information. I would just say to people, see the results, go and look at the reviews. Have these people that are educating you got any proof, or they just clickbaiting, saying what you want to hear so that you listen to more of it? And a lot of them swear a lot as well, which I don't. So therefore, they get much bigger audiences as well. They'll have 4 million. I might only have 200,000. They've got 4 million audiences because they say the C word after everything and the F word. And obviously that's more funny. But obviously I've got an integrity to upkeep, and my programs are serious, a classy type of vibe. So therefore their audience becomes bigger, and now there's more people listening to that bad rhetoric that will allow them to carry on malnourishing themselves, which is a shame.
Absolutely. Now, knowing what you've just mentioned there, that obviously you might just have 400 or so followers and they have millions and millions, that means some of those millions are people that are around us, which then creates that sort of echo chamber, parroting all of that misinformation, and it's just going on and on, obviously uncontrolled and stuff like that. You've managed to build a community that then shields the people that are in your program from all of that outside sort of influence. And I think it is the cornerstone of what you do with the SixPack Revolution. Could you maybe let us know how this private Facebook group really enhances the effectiveness of your program?
Yeah, sure. And just to let you know, we've got an app coming soon. So we'll be switching to an app soon. But so within the group, I don't allow any negativity. We're all positive. I do run a tight ship, though, Prosper. They call me the Sergeant Major with love, because I will tell you exactly what it is you need to do, whether you like it or not. And some people find it a bit harsh. So they might say, oh, can I have this? And I'll go, no. And I'll tell them why. And then that becomes, sometimes they feel a bit like they've had a little bit of a knock on the chin. But I do warn them, first of all, when I do this program in the starter Zoom, that I'm here live for you all day, every day, but I am going to tell you what you need to do to make it happen, whether you like it or not. So I say, if I do sound a bit harsh sometimes, I've got thousands of people, so I need to run a tight ship. But the great thing about that is 99% of them get it, and they almost find it funny. I get the odd person who doesn't like the way my approach, but it's so minuscule. It might be 5 out of several thousand. And within those groups, I make it clear the rules. And I think humans work really well with structure, discipline, and routine. It's just like even from birth, when you swaddle a baby, they're so comfortable. You've just put a big wrap around them, right? And they don't want to be moving around like this all the time and not knowing what's going. It calms everybody. So I think, because of also we're live with you all day, every day, answering those questions. And I've got a team. It's not just me. I've got assistant coaches, senior coaches, head coaches. They're all in every group. I've got like 180 people over the world, coaches. And I think that's probably why it works. One of the unique parts of the SixPack Revolution is the support that we give, and the community part. And also, obviously, a nutrition plan that actually works. and makes you feel good rather than works and makes you feel bad, and an exciting exercise plan. But also I run several Zooms throughout the program on mindset. As I said earlier, how to look at life from a different perspective. No, we spend so much time in our lives looking at what doesn't exist. And what I mean by that is, I mean, let me ask you, I mean, you seem such a happy, jovial, really cool guy. But would you say that you're a worrier much?
I'm a warrior.
Are you, no, you're a warrior, but are you a worrier?
I mean, obviously you would worry if your kids are not feeling well or things of that nature, but you only worry about things that you have full control over. And if things that are beyond your control definitely are not worth spending time, money, or effort on, really.
Well, believe it or not, you might say that, but most people don't. Most people worry about the future, right? Because you can't worry about the past, it's been and gone.
Yeah.
So they worry about the future, but the future doesn't exist. It's just your imagination. And I can prove it, you know. If let me talk, so let me do it this way. If you was going to imagine your future, you'd only imagine the best future possible for yourself, wouldn't you? If you think about when you were younger, that's all you ever did. I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that. I can. And now we sit there and go, oh, what if it goes wrong? I can't. Oh, what if the world's against me and nothing happened, nothing works? And you see the difference in mindset, you know, and you don't know that. You spend so much time worrying about something that you made up because you don't know what the future. How many times have you worried about something? And this is for your people watching, right? You've tossed and turned, you haven't ate properly, you haven't slept properly, butterflies in your tummy. And how many times has that actually turned out to be as bad as the extent that you were worrying when it happened?
Absolutely.
It's a zero, right? Because I'm not saying bad things don't happen, but we amplify things in our mind and we create, oh, the world's about to end. But everyone who's listening to this today has got a 100% success rate in life because they're still here.
That is true.
Right? And you overcome the obstacles. How many times have you done something that you thought, oh no, this is so tough, and then it turned out to be the best thing you ever did? And you're so glad you did it, even if it was good, bad, or indifferent, because it got you to here. You know? And while we're talking about that, the past, so many people are still debilitated and held back by things or people from their past. But the past doesn't exist either. The past is just a memory. And I can prove that one easier. If I wipe your memory clear to this morning, are you going to be affected by anything that happened 2 days ago, 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago? No. So it's only a memory. So if you're going to, this is easier said than done, by the way, but if you're going to bring your memories with you, bring the ones that help you, lift you, move you forward, inspire you, more importantly, make you happy. And understand that life is not a straight line to the top. It's supposed to do this. But if you've got the right mindset, you bounce off of these ones. If you've got the wrong mindset, you're going to bounce off the top ones and go down. So, you know, no one gets a get out of jail free card. We all struggle in times and we're supposed to. That's what life's about. And when you get that, you understand that, then I think you can even enjoy overcoming even the toughest of challenges.
But you would understand this, Scott. I mean, obviously for people like yourself and me that have gone through the journey, I mean, you've managed to maintain your physique for like over a decade. Some people can't even fathom just lifting one heavy piece of dumbbell and they would literally take the rest of the week off or things of that nature. You know what I mean? Some people are just not built like that. And I would maybe venture to say one of the hardest things that maybe some people have had to experience, which is a laughable thing, if I may say, was the pandemic, really. So some people haven't really had anything tough happen to them so much that they have a point of reference. What would you say to a premonition like that?
People that haven't had tough things happen, or people that have gone through things like the pandemic and have found it a struggle?
People that haven't had anything tough happen to them, they really can't find the resolve to extend themselves, like you were saying.
Well, it would be easier if I had a specific person I could work on and say, right, well, I would do this and find out what they're to say that I can't imagine there's no one in the world that's not had anything tough happen to them. Crikey, even the Queen. But what I would say to it comes back down to, how do you feel? You know, how do you want the rest of your life to be? Do you want to just plod along and basically try and get to the end, regardless of what you achieve physically, mentally, and emotionally? What about the kids, as you say? You know, history repeats itself. It's not hard to notice that parents that are alcoholic, and obviously this isn't every single one, but it's quite common that the kids become alcoholic. Parents that are into drugs, the kids become into drugs. Parents end up in prison, so do the kids. Parents that are overweight, so are the kids. You know, what is it you're about? And you will have people that are about nothing, couldn't care less about anyone else but themselves, and they want to just eat themselves and drink themselves to death. That's going to happen. You're going to get people like that, just don't care, think it's a big old laugh. But if you're not that person, then where do you start? You start here. You know, and I'm not saying you're going to eat a birdseed salad. We have pizzas, lasagnas, curries, and Chinese curries, and Thai curries, and everything in the world. I've tried to recreate. We've got sweet desserts, cookies, and all sorts of stuff. But we just make it ourselves to make sure it's balanced, and also just in some ways even more tastier. We're tricked into thinking it has to be a big load of icing on top of a cake. It doesn't. We make cakes, we make everything. You know, it's a really hard question to answer. What do you say to someone who doesn't care? Because if they don't care, there's not much you can say to them, you know, and if they've got no resolve. So, you know, it's a brilliant question. I don't think I've ever been asked that, actually, but I'll have to come back on another show one day and find a better answer. But I guess there's only so much you can do. The old saying, Prosper, you can lead the horse to water, but you certainly can't make it drink.
Can't make it drink, absolutely. Now, obviously, for those that would love to be led to the watering hole and would love to drink and join the 75-day, SixPack Revolution, where can they go and how can they get started? Okay, so the website is called thesixpackrevolution.com. We are actually going through a brand change at the moment, but the website will still take you there, even if our name has changed slightly. The social media handles are at the SixPack Revolution. Don't forget the. So the website and all the socials are at the SixPack Revolution. If you want to follow me, it's at I am ScottHarrison. And yeah, there's lots of information on there, but you can always just ask us a question as well, and we will answer it. And even if you need to get on a call to me to ask some personal stuff, that's absolutely fine as well. I will set up that call. It doesn't cost anything. I will set up that call to have that conversation with you before you consider joining as well, if need be. Absolutely. I'll definitely put all the links in the show notes below, and obviously links to the testimonials that you were talking about, because I can see there's quite a lot that are on your website that people can get a look at. Now, you've mentioned that you've managed to really refine the process from the 90 days that you started off with to now 75 days. And obviously everybody's getting results and things of that nature. I'm just going to ask for those at the back of the room, how many sit-ups does one have to do in the 75 days? You don't actually have to do any. I mean, we do have some abs and stuff in there as a part of your training, but as always, abs are made in the kitchen. Your strength. See, look, exercise is really important, right? It's good for your bone density, your joints, your posture, your core, your anxiety levels, and a massive investment in your future. But as I said, 90% of the magic happens with what you eat. And you can eat lots of delicious, indulgent, cool, great food that you enjoy. It's not about eating boring, bland things at all. You just got to know. When you know, you know. And then once, as I say, once you've got that knowledge,
You have the key to happiness. You have your power back. What you do with that is up to you. And I would also say, as a last thing, Prosper, remember, everybody, that life is going to be full of obstacles. It's supposed to be. So don't keep thinking, oh, I'm the only one and this and the other. But use life's obstacles as a reason to fight and not an excuse to fall. Then you win.
Absolutely. Now, you've already hinted to the fact that you're creating an app and you're also rebranding and changing, but what can we expect from the SixPack Revolution? What are you guys cooking up in the kitchen that we might be excited about moving forward?
Right. So we've just launched. It doesn't start until September because we've got a lot of work to do, but we launched it on Tuesday just gone, our new menopause program. So we have found that an amazing side effect of the SixPack Revolution is that it's life-changing for menopause. We have people come on the program and in under 2 weeks, no more symptoms. That's not everyone, but everyone gets a reduction in their symptoms. But we have so many that it just, like, I was called from all over the country, different people. Scott, what on earth is you're doing? My clients going on your program, they've got no symptoms, they've only been with you for 2 weeks. And I said, I'm an imposter. I haven't made this program for the menopause, but it just so happens. And now I've done the research, because we've got a menopause program coming out with professionals, and it's all taking what we already knew and what we already do and wrapping it round for ladies to try and help them even more in this time of life. So it will be a ladies only program created by ladies. I'm involved a little bit. It's a bit of help from me, but mostly it's, and so that's really exciting because it's going to be life changing and it's going to be unique. No other program on the planet will do what we do. If you do the research, you find that actually food and exercise and a good mindset is pretty much all you need to sort this out in a lot of ways, but that's one thing. New products. I've got new flavors. Bars just come out as well, and we've got some new products coming. Just carrying on spreading the word, trying to reach as many people as possible to give them that key. And it's just so much coming up. The app, there'll be a new book next year, and so on and so on. And by the time next year comes, there'll be another tons of things that I've thought of in the meantime that I'll be working on at that point.
Absolutely. Well, Scotty, I can't thank you enough for the time that we spent on the call today. I mean, obviously your program goes for 75 days, but I think we only had 75 minutes to put it all together. So I really appreciate the time that we spent today.
Thank you very much for having me, and much love to everybody watching.
Absolutely. What an enlightening conversation with ScottHarrison there. I mean, if you were listening and paying attention, obviously you notice that his journey from personal struggle to global impact is a testament to the power of resilience and the human spirit. Now, if Scott's story resonated with you, consider exploring the SixPack Revolution and also his latest book, High Protein Meals in Minutes, for practical guidance on the health journey. I'll be putting all those links in the show notes below so that you can actually go get through pass and connect with Scott himself. And while you're at it, don't forget to share this episode with maybe somebody who could benefit from Scott's insight. It could be a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, uncle, cousin who might be facing some weight issues that they might need to knock off, to see if Scott is the right person for them, and get them signed up to the SixPack Revolution there. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Online Prosperity Show for more inspiring stories and actionable advice that you won't get anywhere else. And I encourage you to join us next time, as we are going to be diving into ideas that will help you lead a happier, more fulfilling existence. Until then, keep striving for prosperity in all areas of your life. Bye for now.